us may not be able to show up everywhere in every moment, but we know we can do better. As a community, we can do better. So if there is anything that I want to leave us with today, is to know that Ronald Greene is teaching us a lesson. That 2 years ago, the same story happened, but many of us were not paying attention. We did not have our heartstrings pulled in the right way. Uh-oh, there we go. I don't know, I think I lost my mic. Somebody might have cut it off and said, no, we don't want them to be outraged all the time. Yes, we do. 2 years ago, this happened. So what does it say about us? What does it say about us? That we are waiting to watch public lynchings in order for us to activate. We have to keep the same energy, because whether or not there's a new person, there's been enough names, as has been said, for us to be fighting every single day. This state capitol and state capitals across this nation should not be comfortable walking in and out. There should be continuous organizing across the nation, because we need a clarion call for there to be change. The idea that in Washington, D.C. right now, they have passed President Biden's deadline, and I do that with quotes, because he said he wanted to see the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which, by the way, is a moderate bill. It is not the strongest, most radical bill that is out there that has been introduced, if you will. And what I mean by that is to the public sphere. There's other things like the Breathe Act and other forms of legislation that can be passed to address in a more radical way the issues of police accountability. However, what is on the table right now should have been passed on the 25th of May, because that's what we were told. But it did not happen because people are playing with us. They do not believe that we have the power to shut this nation down in the way in which we know we can. So what I am suggesting to you is that we must focus more on our economic power. That is the conversation that we are going to have to start focusing on, so that these people understand that when we say we want a bill passed, we want it passed, or else we will cripple this economy. That is the conversation that we must be having across this nation, and it is the conversation that I'm prepared to sit with anyone and talk about, because the only thing they respect is when we don't spend our money. That is the only thing that they respect. And so I think, as I leave from this microphone, that must be our organizing strategy. When we talk about the Urban League, they know better than anyone how to deal with economic power. And if Washington does not feel that they can pass a bill on behalf of our communities, then we need to figure out who are the people funding those people who are standing in our way, and choke them by taking away the money that we spend out of our pockets. That's my message for today. God bless you, brothers and sisters. Let's not be video activists, but let's make sure that we get justice for Ronald Greene, which will mean justice for my child and your child and all the children to come. God bless you.
Mr. Gary Chambers. Mr. Gary Chambers. You know, we stood on these steps in October with Ms. Mona, Lee, and Ron asking for justice. We had state troopers sitting in cars watching us politely ask that you give us justice. Right now, there's 105 House members inside and 39 senators. They represent the people of this state, and they fund the state police. There's a governor on the 4th floor named John Bell Edwards, that if this was his son or his daughter that got beat like a savage dog on the side of the road, that he would not have saw it fit for video to be concealed for 2 years. That if we want to be honest about the condition of Louisiana, it is our leadership that is failing us. And that too many of our black leaders that sit in this Capitol care too much about taking pictures with the governor rather than living and giving us justice in this state. Whether it is police officers in Baton Rouge revealed today that they were fondling a 16-year-old boy on the side of the road while our mayor tells us that there's an investigation. How much you got to investigate? If you or I do any of the crimes that these officers, and they are crimes. They are crimes. They are criminals that have a badge that are patrolling this state right now. There are two things that can happen. State police immediately can make an arrest. Nobody has to ask the governor to tell the head of state police to make an arrest. The governor is making a deliberate choice not to tell the head of state police to make an arrest. Don't tell us because you put this black man to clean up that white mess that created 2 years ago. Another thing about our governor, he allowed the head of state police, who was in the position at the time of Ronald Greene's death, to retire with full benefits. So don't tell me John Bell is a good white man. A good white man understands that justice is not subjective to the color of your skin or your gender. See, it's time for us to recognize that Democrats or Republicans, if you stand in the way of justice, we will stand in your face. We will call you out. We will call it as we see it. And it should not take the cavalry coming for you to recognize that we have been saying this for months. Fannie Lou Hamer said she was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I feel like that's the attitude of black folks every day in America. That no matter whether you live in New York, whether you live in Texas, whether you are in Minnesota, that the oppression of our people is still a relevant conversation in this nation. And if we, the voters, we, the taxpayers, continue to send people down here who will not do the people's will, we don't elect you to vote your damn conscience. We elect you to vote our will. How many more families do we have to stand on the steps of these capitals?
How many more?
Why does this mother have to keep coming to this state because we deny her justice? How many black women concerned about their sons like Tamika Mallory are wondering if they let their child go to the store, will they come home because a savage got a badge? Now, here's a simple analogy that they give us.
Go ahead, brother, go ahead.
That a few bad apples is what we have. The finishing of the quote is, bad apples spoil the damn bunch. And there is not any respect for policing until you deal with them the way you deal with us. Jails are filled with black bodies. Put the people who break the law in jail and not be respective of whether or not they wear a badge or not. The law is supposed to be the law regardless of your profession. A profession does not give you a classification above my humanity. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Mr. Jamal Taylor.
I'm your brother. I'm your brother, were the words of Ronald Greene. And savage beast murdered him. But the scripture says, I am my brother's keeper. But that's reciprocal. It requires a transaction of belief between two people. And I would echo the sentiment of my brother Gary Chambers in that the governor of the state of Louisiana is the chief bullshitter of the state. I will not stand at this podium and act as if he represents the interests of black people in this state. I'm not going to stand here and give the opinion that almost 6 months ago, 20 people did not go and run Colonel Reeves off the state police compound. I'm not going to act as though the governor wasn't aware when he held his press conference that he said Colonel Reeves was a good guy. that he said that he decided to retire. I guess 30 years was enough. And so for him to lie now and act as if he is concerned is at best reckless and at worst dangerous. But when he was running for election, he was peddling every church he could to get the black vote. And so what we must realize is that we cannot continue to give our votes to people that are bigots, that hide behind the walls of the governor's mansion and do not do the will of all people in this state. But let me go a step further. I haven't heard a word from the president either. And as I understand it, the U.S. Department of Justice, Biden's U.S. Department of Justice, has the investigation now that has languished for 2 years. I don't give people respect because they have a behind their name, an R or an I. I give them respect because they deserve it, because they've earned it from me. And so President Biden has a responsibility at this point to direct his attorney general to find out what happened. He also needs to find out what the governor knew and when he knew it. It is time for us to stop running this state as the state police as if it's an organized criminal ring. I'm not a national figure. I'm nobody important. I'm a regular old guy from Lafayette. And what I gotta tell you is, we're not gonna stop fighting in the state of Louisiana. We're gonna always be 10 toes down. And no matter what, we're gonna get justice. You see, we can't give up. We can't stop fighting. Today is a point on the trajectory of where we're going. Dr. King started it. The people before him started it. The moral arc of the universe bends towards justice, but this bending has taken too long. And so it's time for us to stand on the scales to ensure that the justice we deserve is not denied any longer. So until John Bel Edwards or Joe Biden says something, both of them, insofar as I'm concerned, can kick rocks. Thank you so much. God bless you and let him keep you.
Now, when this case came across my desk in 2019, a lot of folks don't realize that we found this case by mistake. That we had submitted an information request into the use of August McKay's N-word with another trooper. See, folks have asked us, why y'all coming here today? Let the process play out. They says, protesting has its place. Often folks have said that we're tired of marching. We're tired of protesting. It's never worked. But then I read about Dr. King and I see how he used the protest as a leverage in the movement. See, ain't nothing changed in this country until we got together and got mad. See, I read about how the organizers of the bus boycott nearly crippled the system through strategy. I read about 2 future local judges that decided to march from one school to another to force integration. I'm challenged to think that marching and protesting have worked. It just used to be more strategic. See, but what can you expect? Your leaders now hold political seats and are tied to business interests. It can't be about justice for Ronald Greene when some are too busy plotting their next political move.
That's right, that's right.
Let's just keep it real for a second. The executive arm of the civil rights movement has found other roles. That's not bad, it's just different. Our influence never had to leave their homes. Social media has created Twitter fingers for change. With action being at an all-time low. Today we follow people that can't even walk through our streets. I repeat, cannot walk down my street. Don't just come protest with us, come walk down our streets. We've created interest sections for our leaders instead of buy into our communities. You no longer have to love me to serve me. We follow political agendas instead of using good common sense. Every movement seemed to be birthed in the kitchen of some church without any systematic influence present. But now we have too many folks looking for viral moments. I tell you what, if all this black power really had power, people wouldn't be getting drugged on the side of the road by shackles.
You got to exercise it. And I say, still because some jokers here in Louisiana took off robes and put on badges. Americans has always treated folks that look like me this way. But now we spend way too much time explaining this to folks that look like me. We ought to just let them go on their right way and just rally who we can. I see folks allowed to exist who our grandparents would have run off.
All right, come on now.
I say all this to say, while I don't always agree with the old, sure, there are new ways, but until we rope success to the front of the line, we'll always lose. In 2 years, this system has decided that that video they watched wasn't bad enough for immediate attention. That's our fight. I really ain't got time for nothing else. If a movement lacks strategy and I'm near it, that's my fault, because long ago, that part was my job. Not in the literal, but folks with my skill set and knowledge.
I know that's right.
We can't say if something has stopped working if we ain't never done it right. We shouldn't be tired of something we've never really done right.
That's right.
So sit your judgmental ass down and do something if you don't like what you see. We're going to continue to stand where we stand and shout to the heavens for justice for Ronald Greene.
Go ahead, brother.
And if you have any questions on why, it's because we're the largest and the oldest, the baddest and the boldest, the most loved, the most hated, the most feared and revered, custom discussed civil rights in organization in America. We are the NAACP, and we demand that you arrest these clowns.
Right now. Right now. Right now.
After Sterling, black family is right here. After Sterling family right here. Still ain't got no justice. Come on, beat it,
We're
Sterling.
going to hear from the family of Alton Sterling, a native family who's been fighting this fight for far too long.
Yeah.
2016.
Y'all know what I say? If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
they don't get no peace.
Damn right.
So I want to make sure that we all on one accord. What I say, if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
we have to fight together, y'all. We have to fight. We got to stand together on this thing.
Come on.
They still killing us by the thousands. They still killing us. So in order for them to stop killing us, we have to stop it. And you know when we gonna stop it? When we unite.
That's right.
We have to be on one accord with each other. Now, I'm telling you, it's a hard road. It's a long road, but I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. I still stand on what I say. No justice.
No peace.
No races.
Police.
Just like that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Black power, Peter.
God bless you all.
Just for Alton Sterling.
Just for Alton Sterling.
Just for Alton Sterling.
Just for Alton Sterling.
Just for Ronald Greene.
Just for Ronald Greene.
Just for Travis Pellery.
Just for Travis Pellery.
Black power. Go ahead, Mr. Mary. We just backing you up.
A man was killed in Monroe, Louisiana. It was a human being. We've confirmed that. Mama, you gave birth to him, right?
I sure did.
You raised him?
My very first.
I heard you went to college at 16. Is that true?
Right around 17.
Right around 17. He was a real person.
He was.
A human being was killed in the state of Louisiana. He was murdered on the side of the road. How many of you all saw the video?
We saw it.
It was an actual happening. So we're not here theoretically.
Come on.
We're not here talking about what could have been or what should be. We're saying that a man was murdered in the state. And in the state of Louisiana, which is one state in the country of the United States of America, when someone is murdered, there's something that ought to happen.
Lock them up.
Right? Now, you know, I've studied, so I'm a history major from Morehouse College, so I studied civilizations before. People have different ways of dealing with murders, but in the United States of America, if someone commits a murder, then we elect a prosecutor who will determine if there's probable cause in a region that a crime has been committed and they make an arrest. The law encourages that be a timely arrest, right? As soon as they find that they've crossed that border of probable cause, enough evidence to establish that a crime has been committed, they send out the law enforcement agents that we pay for, and they make an arrest. when a human is killed in one of our states. That happened 2 years ago. I'm not actually here for a fancy speech. I'm here to march and to stand with the community. I'm over speeches. A real person, her son, was murdered by state agents, and we demand action 2 years ago.
That's right.
The reason that we don't have an arrest is because the elected officials that you all selected, that we selected through our vote, has said, yeah, that's the rules, but or else what?
Yeah.
They're questioning you about what your resolve is. I'm not here for the cameras. They want to know what you're going to do about it. You know it is a crime. You know there's no justification for the use of force. You know that a family is injured and we are diminished by his death. That's right. And they want to know what you're going to do about it. Well, I'm a lawyer. Carlos Moore, where you at? Carlos, I saw you here earlier. Judge Carlos Moore came here from Alabama. I came in from Texas. My brother Trey the Truth came in from Houston. The family came in from Florida. There's people gathered here. Tamika came in from New York. There's people gathered here from all over the world saying, look, I will put whatever this community tells me to do, I'll do. When they say, or else what, I showed up for that. I didn't show up in my shirt and tie. I know how to litigate. We're doing that. But listen, if they kill my brother, if they kill one of my 5 beautiful children, there are consequences.
That's right.
I'm not here for the cameras. I'm telling this community that right now, the NAACP, the ACLU, the new Black Panther Party that supports me everywhere I go, that we now have a responsibility. I don't give a damn about their system. A civil rights has been disbanded in Louisiana because we know under the rules of civil rights, if someone is killed, there's an arrest. We start there. Well, it's been 2 years. They don't plan to make an arrest. Or else what? Or else what? I cannot tell the state of Louisiana or the community of Baton Rouge what to do. But whatever you all say to do, we got your back. All right, bro. That's it.
Two years.
See it, Ron. See it, brother.
2 years is too long.
Yeah.
But not too late for justice.
All right, brother.
Never too late. We need it.
2 years is too long, but not too late for justice.
We need it.
You know, there's a difference between not standing for something. I want y'all to follow me, right? There's a difference with not standing for something, but then not willing to stand up for what is right. You see, there's a lot of people in that building right there that don't stand for what happened to Ronald Greene. There's a lot of people in that building that will not stand for what happened to Joseph Richardson.
All right, brother.
There's a lot of people in that building that will not stand for what happened to Trayford Pellerin.
All right, brother.
But how many is willing to stand up? And that's the difference. We don't need people that will say we don't stand for something. We need people that will stand the hell up.
Yes.
That will use their voice, that will use their power, that will use their influence to get justice. So, when we have these talks with the higher ups, when I'm talking to the colonel, when I'm talking to the governor, when I'm talking to the chief of police, when I'm talking to the district attorney, I don't want to hear that I am sorry that for some reason they were acting unprofessional. Let's call this what it is. It is criminal. And if you're not willing to stand up for what is criminal, then I don't want to hear that you won't stand for it because you are being complicit. I've been practicing law for 13 years, and I'm about to put my 1L hat on and talk a little bit about the code of criminal evidence.
That's right.
Just a little bit. I'm gonna school you a little bit. You see,
Class open.
there's a statute in the state of Louisiana that governs murder. The gist of what that statute says is, if
Yep.
you specifically inflict great bodily harm or have the specific intent to kill and someone dies, that is murder.
That's right.
Specific intent to kill or inflict great bodily harm, that is what?
Murder.
Now, much was made about the bullshit autopsy. I'm sorry I had to curse.
Oh,
That was done on Ronald Greene.
Go to
That's the right word.
Wanna talk about some cocaine delirium and some alcohol and what he ate for breakfast the day before and who he talked to on the phone and somehow that played into what his state of emotions were? Nah, I ain't here for all that. The world saw on those 9 videos that were released how Ronald Greene died. Did it look like cocaine?
No.
Did it look like alcohol?
No.
Did it look like a damn car accident?
No.
What did it look like?
Murder.
Bloody murder.
And what do we do with murderers?
Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up.
Now, what just I struggle with, and I'm going to conclude in a minute, what I struggle with is this. Many of people that look like me can get arrested, prosecuted, indicted by word of mouth.
That's right.
You can say something against me, you can say something else, you can say something else, and guess what? My ass is still going to be arrested.
You're gone. You're gone.
Mr. Haley.
Come on, Ron.
We got a whole video.
That's good, brother. That's good.
Matter of fact, we ain't got 1 video. We have 9.
9.
And 9 videos is not enough.
Why?
It's not enough. It's not enough. 9 videos is not enough to get this family justice. Because the people that we've entrusted in power will not stand for this, but will not stand up against it. I love y'all.
All right, Ron.
Appreciate you, brother.
Go do something to a dog to see what they do to you.
We've been saying and we hear all the time, no justice, no peace.
Yes.
My name is Attorney Denicia Miley, and I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. Here, this is where Ronnie Greene lives. This is where our client Aaron Bowman lived. And like I said before, he's a little different when it's your brother.
Yeah.
When it's somebody in your community, it means something to you. And so what we're saying is it doesn't matter if it's in a small town or a busy city. It's injustice.
Yeah.
That's it.
See, what I can say is I'm an attorney, but I haven't been practicing 20 years. I've been practicing less than 5.
Go ahead, sister.
So the heat that we get as attorneys and taking these cases, it's a lot. But I told him one thing, I'm young, but I'm strong.
Go ahead, sister.
I'm
Yeah.
young, but I'm scared.
Go ahead, sister. I ain't scared.
So when I say that, we represent Aaron Bowman because what you don't understand is, just like we hear from Ms. Mona, Troop F in my city, who I see every time, pass by, speak or whatever, murdered Ronald Greene.
Yeah.
And still walking around.
Less than 3 weeks later, they beat Aaron Bowman.
Yes.
Beat him with flashlights, left him for dead. Dialysis patient. 3 weeks later, same troop. You hid it from Ronald Greene's family and the community. You hid it from Aaron Bowman.
They lied.
Still 2 years. Tell me why Aaron Bowman has not seen the video footage.
Of his own assault.
Oh, the governor comes, oh, you're going to meet with them. You're going to do this and that. You think it's hot outside? You need to get hot in there.
Yeah.
Hot enough to effectuate change in our community.
Right? Yes. Go ahead, sister.
It should not be about your political ties, financial benefit, for you to stand up for justice, to stand up for what is right. We're not asking you to bend over backwards. We're asking you to do what is right.
Yes. Uphold the law.
Uphold the law because you violated their constitutional right.
Period.
That is enough. That's enough for us to stand out here. So you ask why? Why are you doing another protest? That's what they say. Why are you coming now? We're in session. Oh, God forbid we interrupt their session.
Right. Yes. Come on, Queen.
You ask
Shut it
why
down.
we
Shut
come
it
here
down.
and we're on social media and we're
Shut it
advocating
down.
day in and day and night because something's got to change.
Yes.
We will not be silenced. And we're going to speak up and speak out, and you are not going to intimidate the legal community that believes in these individuals.
That's right.
You're not going to intimidate our clients because Aaron Bowman lived to tell the story. He is Ronnie Greene's voice today.
Yes. Yes.
Beat him and left him for dead. Louisiana State troopers, all the different police agencies that stand around and they do this and hide behind, the investigation is still ongoing.
Yeah.
We're sorry, Ms. Miley. We'll get back with you later. I'm tired of hearing of later. It's time for now.
Yes. Now.
So if we have to meet on the state capitol to talk about this, if we have to march, if we have to say what we need to say, if we have to open up the doors and say, do you hear me now?
Yeah.
We're here for it.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Because it has to change. Do you mean to tell me 3 weeks later the same troop that did this to Ronnie Greene killed him? He's scared. You're my brother. And you turn around and you do it to Aaron Bowman?
Shut it down.
Patterns and practices.
That's right.
Patterns and practices. And we're saying it needs to stop. We're saying we need change.
Or else.
Like Mr. Mayor said, or else.
Yep.
Because we're unafraid, we're going to speak out.
Out of patience.
And unlike you, I took an oath for what I said I was
Go
going to
ahead.
do.
Yeah.
I took an oath, just like these police officers, they took an oath. Oh, you're on our taxpayers' dollars. They took an oath. Operate in it. Walk in your calling just like we do. Because we're not going to stop until we see change. It's for Ronnie Greene. It's for Aaron Bowman. It's for every police brutality victim.
Yeah.
Why does Louisiana have to be so different? In other places, they will have this same thing going on and the video's released in the next day or so.
Plantation.
Oh, but not in Louisiana?
Plantation.
We're telling them now. The time is now. We're speaking out. Enough is enough.
Justice. What do we want? Justice. We don't get it. Shut it down.
So I tell everybody, let's stand here today. We stand with you, Ms. Mona, and family, for the Ronnie Greene family. We're asking for arrest in this. We're asking for Aaron Bowman's video to come out. You're right, we're not asking, we're demanding. Give us those tapes, give us those arrests today.
Yep. That's it.
So we stand with you. Because the beautiful thing of what you see here, you saw families join together. Unity through this. Aaron can lean on Ms. Mona, and Ms. Mona can speak life into him because they both are hurting. America is hurting.
Right.
It stops now. And we're going to continue to apply pressure. Thank you.
I think we got 2 more speakers here. Ms. Lachey's gonna make her way up here, and I want to introduce the civil rights attorney real fast. But before we do that, I think it's important to remember that Colonel Reeves and Bob Brown, who both led the state police agency at the time, have both went home with their full retirement, both went home with this cover-up, and we never call their names. Remember Colonel Kevin Reeves and Mr. Bob Brown.
That's right.
Thank you. No justice,
No peace.
I stand here as Carol Powell Lexing, civil rights attorney, been doing this a long time. Case would lead Pamela Turner out of Houston, Texas, and other attorneys I work with. I come to support these lawyers and this family who is seeking justice for Mr. Greene. Now, anytime you have a system where you have the system saying is awful, but lawful. The only lawfulness that we need is for them to be locked up, for them to be arrested, to be charged and convicted. That's why we have to stay on our 4 pillars of justice: the police, the DA, the coroner, and the judge. And we will not take anything less until this family gets the justice that is deserved. Amen. We have heard long enough. I'm sorry. It's unprofessional. We're tired of that, and we're not taking it anymore. We're here to demand justice, and we're not going to give up until this family and other families that are at the hands of police brutality receive justice for their families. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Lachey, she's gonna be the.
All right, I asked my sister Lachey to come forward. I consider her a sister of mine, just like I consider Ronald Greene my brother. I said, or else what, Louisiana, and I want you all to know that this family came up all the way from Texas. Her brother, her little brother, was killed by police in Collin County, Texas, while in custody after being arrested for less than 2 ounces of marijuana. They held him down while he was suffering a mental health episode. They put a spit hood over his head. They choked him to death. And she's fought every week. Every week she reappears before the prosecutors. Now that case went a little different than Ronnie's case because his family has continued to fight every single day, and the community is still with them. We're still fighting. We still don't have a justice. That was just in March. 7 officers who are involved in his murder have been terminated. We are meeting with the prosecutor on a regular basis. We saw the video, just like we saw the video of Ronald Greene, but guess what they didn't do? They didn't let you see it. So this is your opportunity before that video comes out and the media tells you it's important to listen to her. Listen to her. Her brother was murdered for less than 2 ounces of marijuana. He was unarmed and in their custody, and he died. He doesn't come back, and that demands justice. And she's fought every week, every day. That's her or else. She suspended normal life. She told me in this way, actually another family told me in this way, she had 2 lives. Before the murder of her brother and after the murder of her brother. Her life is different now. We're asking you all to continue to stand, fight with her, and let her instruct us on how we continue to stand for our brother Ronald Greene.
Thank you. I'm not sure. Okay. My brother was my best friend, and they murdered him in the Collin County jail. And the only thing I'm standing with this family because I feel for Miss Mona. I'm encouraging y'all to keep standing. Don't let this be the last protest. No. Keep going. Takes more than this. Put pressure on them. I have not given up. Ever since I found out that he was murdered, we have been outside the jail every single day. We have went to commissioner's courts meeting, demanding mental health funding. We have done everything. We have took over the streets. The police have tried to kick us out of the streets. That's what they want us to do. We pay these tax dollars. We run these streets. We pay for these streets. Get in the streets. Don't leave this family. This family lives in Florida. Continue to come here. I encourage you to come here. Chalk this up. Every week. Right? Justice for Ronald Greene on here. Be in their face. Don't give up. Please don't give up. Don't let up. That's all I can say is don't let up. Because I haven't let up. And we ain't going to. We're not going to. We're not. We've seen the video, but the world still doesn't know what that looks like. And we watched him. We've seen the murder. It was ruled as a homicide. And there's no arrest. No arrest. So, don't give up, y'all. Stand with this family. If you're here now, continue to stand. Okay?
All right, so that will conclude the pressure today. We're going to go right into the march to the governor's mansion where we're going to tell the governor exactly how we feel about this. But before we leave, I just want to let everybody here know we need to pack this place next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Representative Edmund Jordan's hearing his qualified immunity bill. Yeah. We absolutely need that to go through because that's the next step of police accountability. So we want to go ahead and gather on that side. We're going to march to the governor's mansion. Devon, can you come in and sing us a little organizing song? No justice? No justice? No justice? I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching down the freedom lane. I ain't gonna let nobody turn